because it'd be kind of a waste to just sit here and actually get into anything in the first couple of minutes.
No, I feel that. Drop the good old tweet too.
Yeah, for sure. I actually dropped one about 10 minutes ago. That way,
I hit the fat retweet.
Dude, oh yes, I love that. But yeah, honestly, so this is my 4th episode. My guests so far have been Vicky was my first. Rio from Florida, the Ike player, was my second.
Oh, that dude is sick.
Yeah,
that dude is sick.
I love Rio. He's been actually one of my good friends for probably a year and a half, 2 years now. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, and really awesome dude.
The 3rd episode was with Colonies. He is a Northeast.
Oh, dude, I know Colonies.
Yeah, he's a monster.
That's one of my sons.
I love Colin. He's actually from a region right outside of mine. I'm from Pittsburgh, so.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, he's in Northeast Ohio. So we have actually our scenes are super close. Like we attend each other's events all the time. We're only about an hour and a half away from each other.
So, yeah, dude. I actually I knew about that because I went to Shuffle in Ohio in 2014, 15, and 17, I think. So I know a lot of like the Columbus dudes.
I was about to say those were Columbus ran events. Actually, I know a lot of the people that ran those. Columbus is another one of my closer regions, like as far as friends and stuff go. Like Geist and a bunch of other people from there are super good friends of mine.
Word, yeah. I've also been to the Loft and stuff. I know Colonies goes over there all the time. It's really fun stuff. Yo, Mad Max, that's the name of the episode? All
yes.
Right. I'm down with that.
I couldn't think of a name, and I was like, yo, we're calling him Mad Max.
It's something, you know what I mean? I struggle naming episodes, I'm going to be honest with you. It's always a tough one to do.
All right.
Gotta do the Gatorade.
Let me see. Let me post a tweet as well.
Yeah, for sure. You are more than welcome to do
that. Shit. I am tired, dude. I just got home from work.
What were you gonna say, man?
Last 3 days I just worked 13 hours, and then today I only worked like 6, so it was great.
Yeah, dude. Just before I got on this podcast, I went to just go get a sandwich from the bodega, and it was raining, and it's like a pretty deep walk from my apartment, so I got like super drenched and just had to, like, instead of working, I walked like up this hill in the rain. You know, that sucked pretty hard too.
Hey, understandable, dog. Well, my jobs are pretty cushy as far as it goes. There's nothing like super hard about them. Like, I manage a clothing store and I work at a vape shop. Like, there's really,
word. That's yeah.
There's really nothing going on at either of them, dude. At the vape shop, sometimes I'll bring in Smash and just play with people who come in if they want to play. Like,
yeah, there's got to be a decent amount of overlap in that.
There really is. I was actually surprised. But I'll be playing and somebody will be like, "Yo, I play that." It's like, shit. Well, you want to sit down and have like a couple games? They're always like, "Yeah." I've actually found some killers, like some people who are really good just out of nowhere.
They're out there, dude.
Yeah.
They're definitely out there. Like someone who could take out, like the bottom 5 on your local PR.
Yeah,
like,
I found some dudes that literally, easily could do that. And I was like, what the fuck? I had this like 30-year-old dude come in one time and give me the hands. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Wow. All right.
Yeah, that's how I was like, all right, dude. I told him, I was like,
it's some Smasher's dad. It's Colonies' dad, dude.
Dude, I could see Colin's dad playing Smash. Honestly, could. Have you ever seen Colin's dad wilding on Twitter?
No, I haven't. He has a Twitter account?
Yes, and he...
no way.
Yeah, if you go to the video that Colin just posted of him singing, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, son, you got your dad's pipes." He's so funny.
That's mad funny.
Yeah, Colin. Dude, I love Colin. And his dad is super cool. Because I haven't met his dad in person, unfortunately, because we're far enough away that it's not, like, feasible to just go hang out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But, like...
Yeah.
It's stupid lit when I, like, see him on Twitter. Yo, what's going on, Super Atomic? Yo, wait, is that my boy Super Atomic from Michigan?
Dude, that's just you, but upgraded.
Yo, chill. I'm Atom, not Adam. Let's get our shit together, bro. I got a dash.
Makes sense.
Yeah, my name is Austin Thomas, so it's just Atom. Works perfectly fine.
I like that. My name is Max Kretschmar, so Max Ketchum is,
Yeah, we had a kid named Alex Tomarelli, and he went as Adam. So we had I told him when I first came into the scene, I was like, we're money matching for the name, bitch.
Did you do it, dude?
Yeah.
And you won?
Uh,
Obviously.
I don't remember who won, but neither of us changed our tags. It was most of a joke.
That's really funny. Dude, I wanted to have a name match and brawl with this dude. My tag used to be Doom, so obviously, like, you can imagine there's going to be some other dude who's going to pick that.
For sure.
And he's like a Puerto Rico CFL smasher, like he goes between the two. Or I think he moved from Puerto Rico to CFL. And he played Snake, and I played Meta Knight and Brawl, so I was like, yo, like, give me that money match. You know, like, Ally comes to Jersey all the time, like, I know what I'm doing, like, let's play.
Yeah.
And we never ended up playing, but we wanted to do $100 and the name Doom. But, and then, you know, by the time I ever got to, like, actually see him in person, I maxed Ketchum, so not much to be done about that.
You hate to see it, dude. You lost your legacy. Before you could even play for it, you lost it. That's a real shame.
Just by default, it was a forfeit, man.
I would have still done the money match, honestly. Like,
yeah, on the real, I like have never actually gone up to him and talked to him, just because you know we've never actually crossed paths at the events that we both were at. But I would love to. I actually don't even think I know what he looks like. But you know, I'll just shout it out, be like, "Yo, Doom, where you at?
Who the fuck is Doom?"
Yeah.
You just see some dude, just like, what?
Yeah. Yo, one of the worst things about having the tag Doom though was that anytime somebody said "dude" at a Smash tournament, you'd be like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, not this dude,
Yeah.
and definitely not Doom.
Yeah, that would definitely not be cool. Just like constantly poking your head up.
But like also being named Max, like when there's Matt or Zach,
yeah,
or, like, any of those around, it gets tough too.
Super Atomic, we can't. That gets us banned on Twitch, dude. We can't do shirts off while talking about money matches. In Pittsburgh, we have a tradition of shirtless money matches.
That's insane.
Yes.
Do you get to keep the shirt if you win?
Oh my, dude. Okay, all right, we're doing that now.
Definitely got to do that.
Yeah, yep, that's what's happening.
Add that into the rules.
I've been a part of 4 shirtless money matches at this point.
I look like I'm part of My Chemical Romance right now. Yo, guys, it's funny you say that. One, I'm like soaking wet out the shower because I went to get food and got rained on. So I was like, yo, I'm not gonna be like rain wet. I'm gonna be shower wet if I have to take a pic. And then also, dude, I did some event yesterday that like I wanted to be nicely groomed for, so I shaved my disgusting shitlord beard off. And you know, I didn't want to go to the barber or anything because that's an extra stop along the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just, you know, came out looking like 12 and also in an emo band.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, you'd rather be clean wet than dirty wet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at least I shower, you know, that's like, there's now undeniable proof of that. Well, I guess I could just be rain wet still and nobody would know the difference, but...
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's a front at this point. I think you're just lying to us.
Yeah, you know, why would he come on here with this elaborate story and like...
it's a little crazy, actually. You had to go to the bodega, now you're out here talking about rain wet shower. I don't really know, man. I don't think I can get behind that.
That's true, and I do have evidence that I went to the bodega with like the Snapple right here, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, I got a Gatorade right here, but I didn't stop nowhere. That's all I'm saying.
Man, stocked up in the crib?
No, actually, it was just in my backpack from dinner yesterday.
Well, you got leftovers, man. I didn't have that buff today, so
yeah,
I
know.
didn't have that held item.
Didn't have that hanging in the backpack, Doug.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that we got everything going a little bit, we can actually get into the podcast itself. At least, you know, more of the meat and beans of it all. So,
what about the potatoes, man? Meat and potatoes.
Dude, I don't know, man. I like beans.
Okay.
Dude, okay, so wait, before we get this started, what is with this meme of people putting beans in controllers?
Oh, dude, it's like, you know, there's just memes about beans, I guess, and Mike Hayes decides to take it to the next level. Yeah.
I loved it.
Wanted to go extra ham.
I loved it, honestly. You mean pork and beans? Okay.
Dude, great song by Weezer. I'll tell you that.
Actually, you're right. Dude, I haven't heard of Weezer in a minute. It's been
they put out this album of like covers of a bunch of like classic rock songs and stuff. And they're really good. Yeah, they did like Toto's Africa. They did I want to say I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Some banger by Elton John. They covered it, and they actually live up to the originals. They're really good.
You know who else did that? Was Ninja Sex Party. I don't know if you know who they are.
I've heard the name. Yeah, I couldn't like tell you any of their music offhand, but
it's mostly like meme music, kind of. But their singer actually has an incredibly good voice. He's actually Danny from Game Grumps. I don't know if you've ever watched Game Grumps.
I never have, which is funny because everybody fucking says I look like JonTron. But no, I've never watched Game Grumps. My friend who's actually like at my apartment right now, he watches it a decent amount. I caught it in the background one time.
Yeah.
And I was so mad at myself because it was like, it was JonTron talking specifically, and I didn't know, but like whatever it was made me laugh. I was like, yo, like who is this, Dre? Like this is mad funny. He's like, oh, it's Game Grumps. I was like, are you fucking kidding?
God.
Anybody else? Like, yeah.
JonTron actually hasn't been a part of Game Grumps in like 3 or more
I know,
years
yeah.
now.
It was some
So
old
he
shit.
he was in the archives, dog.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was
Yeah.
going deep in the discography.
Honestly, JonTron episodes were really funny. JonTron is just super funny as a person. I love his content.
Dude.
But Danny is really good in his own right. And to go back to it, but they did Africa by Toto, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which is one of my favorite old rock songs. They did Danny Don't You Know. They did a lot of stuff, and it was really killer. Honestly, I think some of his covers were better than the originals, to be fair.
Wow, all right, that's a bold claim. So yeah, I'll definitely check him out.
Like, I liked Everybody Wants to Rule the World originally, but then I heard his cover, and I was like, I actually kind of like this better. And I felt bad because I had spent, like, I don't know, 16 years of my life listening to the old one, and then I just hopped on this new one. I don't know if I felt guilty or, like, what was going on there, but I was like, I don't know, man. But it's definitely fire. So anyway,
Yeah.
let's hop into... I really do want to ask you about your... like your collegiate scenes. Like, what do you do for that? Like, what is what does that entail?
So, to give context, I am one of 2 Smash/fighting game division managers at Collegiate Star League. The other one is Toronto Joe, who's the host of Gommel, owner of Viva Matchup Gaming, my boy, best friend in the world, man. Guy's the man. So we work together, basically doing a circuit of, let's call it 16, usually ends up being a little more, local qualifiers that feed then into regional and then divisional qualifiers and then a national finals that happens at the end of the school year. So basically, locals is the open enrollment phase. Any team of 5 students from the same school, they sign up. They go to the local qualifier in their region, of which there are, roughly 16, but again, a couple more get added just because you can't possibly cover all of the U.S. and Canada with only 16 locations and like have everyone be able to participate.
That would be tough for sure.
Yeah. So it's definitely something that we really want to do, to cover more of the map. It's just a matter of like making the right connections in those regions and finding a way for it to fit into the circuit. But either way, they play there. The top X teams, like for this season, is only the winning team, but last season it was top 4. They move on to the next round of competition, and then this year, just like how only top 1 was getting out of locals, we cut the regional stage because like Ultimate came out halfway through the school year. So normally it would be locals goes to regionals, goes to divisionals, goes to nationals. This year we just sliced regionals. So yeah, that's just kind of the main layout of the season. Finals always culminates in Shine 20 whatever team. Or now, next year it'll be Shine 2020.
Yeah, we're getting out of the teens, boys. It's kind of wild.
I know, that's insane, man. Before I know it, I'll be 30, bro.
I'll be 24 once we come out of the teens. So.
I turned 26 in 11 days, bro. I'm already knocking on the pearly gates. Yeah,
You're
but
old
anyway.
as fuck, bro.
But yeah, what was I going to say? So yeah, basically we have like a circuit that spans the U.S. and Canada. You enter and keep competing if you make it far enough. And then we have a 15K prize pool for both Melee and Ultimate at the end of it all, which is awesome. Like they were able to bring that level of prize support to Smash
I was
it
about
all.
to say that's huge, especially for a collegiate like scene kind of thing. Like that is a large prize pool for the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, right? If you're a college athlete and you're the best in the world, your reward is that you get drafted in $1 million contract to some NBA team or something. You know what I'm saying?
Essentially.
So, yeah. So 15K, like we're trying. You know what I'm saying? We want it to feel legitimate. Like, there's a legitimate payoff to being good at Smash and good at school because you have to maintain decent grades and be in good standing in your university and stuff. So again, we liken it a lot to just being a college athlete, and not like in a weird way where we're like,
we're
using
like
weird
we can't pay
unconventional words.
you, and also.
Oh no, that's a little different. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like we're not calling the players like athletes or like any weird shit like that makes it feel like these guys are really forcing this whole NCAA shit. It's like, nah, it's nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying. We want it to feel like there's a legitimate component behind interscholastic Smash tournaments, and that if you're in college, it's worth your time to find a community like Smash on your campus, build a team around it. It's also like, a group effort, school spirit building effort, which we think is really cool. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's just like a lot of cool things behind it. I love doing the work that we do. Like sometimes a lot of stuff to do, it can get tough, but like it's just stuff that I'm genuinely passionate about. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's bringing this air of I hate to keep using the word, but like the air of legitimacy to Smash in general. It's like, man, I can decide my college based on like how sick their Smash team is, even. You know what I'm saying? Some people are legitimately doing that, like not even necessarily for CSL, but for like the health of the community at the school. It's like, well, if these relatively equal schools in every other regard exist, but one has a great Smash scene, I'm going to that one no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have some friends that have done that, gone to different colleges specifically for their Smash scenes.
It's a real
well,
thing,
not specifically, man. But like,
yeah, but
they
yeah,
look into similar colleges, factor. And then wherever has a better Smash scene, like they'll
it's a huge tiebreaker.
Yeah, it really is, especially because I really think that college scenes are the backbone of esports. Just due to the fact that like that is where you're coming into your own. You have the time to do what you want, but you're also becoming responsible and doing everything that you need to do on your own. Mm-hmm. So it's like you kind of get the best of both worlds. You're maturing, you're finding things that you enjoy, you're making new friends, you're doing everything that you need to do, and then you can come out as this new person and be a fully fledged adult and do whatever it is that you need to do, and I think that's super hype.
Yeah, in addition to like running the circuit, one of the things that we're getting into now that Joe and I are like most of the way through our second year working there, we've started partnering up with big collegiate Smash tournaments like Full Bloom, Battle of BC, Don't Park on the Grass, the Scarlet Classic, etc. Like we're trying to have a presence at all these events, either provide them with equipment or like as like a sponsor. Mm-hmm. Any kind of like cool partnership that we can like use our platform to boost them up, and in return we're part of their event, and we can say like, hey, we were involved with this and this is a really cool event.
Yeah.
So we don't just want to create our circuit and like go out there and be like, yo, everybody sign up, like
yeah,
that's not how
that would seem more selfish.
Right.
But that's
and
not
honestly,
what it
like,
is. Yeah.
Trade secret, it's $25 to enter a crew, so it's not like we're like rolling in cash even if we got 1 million schools to join. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, for sure, you would have to have almost every school to make a lot of money doing that. So
yeah, and then some.
Pretty much.
But yeah, we just want to like boost up the whole collegiate gaming atmosphere in general. Like even as it's perceived in the minds of like, you could say normies. You know what I'm saying? If it's like, you go to school, you play League of Legends, you play Counter-Strike, you play Smash, you can actually, get some decent, we could call it scholarship money, it could be food and housing money or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like there's
scholarships. I mean, there's tons
it's worth
of
doing.
Stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Well, a lot of colleges have started making CSGO, League of Legends, Dota teams, like full-fledged school-sponsored teams, and I think that's like the coolest thing in the world. Like there are kids out there right now getting sponsorships to go play League of Legends at the university of their choosing, and that is the coolest fucking thing that I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Yeah, dude, not far from you, Miami University of Ohio actually has a varsity Smash team, dude. They're
really
legit. Yeah, man. They're like probably, I'd say, the most legitimized in like terms of the faculty and school like involvement of all the Smash teams in the country. But then again, there's a lot of esports clubs are like really strong, and Smash just kind of falls under their umbrella. Mm-hmm. That said, Miami is the first one that I heard of being like a real varsity Smash team, and I think it's a really cool thing to like be able to say. Even they get funded to go to stuff like Smash and Splash, or at least they did last year. So the school is supporting them even financially. It's like having a sponsorship, but you don't have to be like top 10 in the world, because also if you're in school, can't really make time to be top 10 in the world too easily.
I mean, I know a lot of people who are struggling to go to majors and do all this other stuff and also be in school. Like it's a packed schedule, and it's super hard to jam everything in that you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and another thing that I want to say on the note of how you said collegiate tournaments and collegiate esports is like one of the backbones of the scene.
Yeah.
When we go to these events like Don't Park and Battle of BC, Full Bloom, I'm like so impressed by the level of dedication and work ethic that these kids have to run the tournaments. Like they're legitimately running tournaments that could be considered up there with some of the best in terms of production value and the actual quality of the hosting and venue and stuff. Like they're usually in like a student center.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of space. You'll see just regular college students walking around, and there's lots of food options in there. It's a very cool feeling atmosphere. And I have to really give a huge shout out to those tourneys because they are absolutely killing it. I think where there's like a vacancy in some regions for a true major tournament, they're able to fill that. Even I'd particularly point to the 3 that I mentioned. There's
Don't Park on the Grass, Full Bloom. Yeah, those are
Battle of BC. Yeah, like
so
literally,
cool.
those are the cornerstones of those regions' tournaments. Like what's the biggest tourney in Indiana? Almost unquestionably, it's Full Bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My buddies were
same
at
for the
Full
others.
Bloom. A bunch of actually the team that sponsors me to stream and everything like that. My whole team basically went out to Full Bloom.
Yeah, it was a great event, man. It really was.
They said they loved it. I mean, nobody had a bad time. If you saw any of the Critical Hit guys, those are who I play for. Hunter had his the pass for people who take pictures and things, multimedia pass or something like that. And then that's the person who owns the org that sponsors me. And then a bunch of my teammates.
I have to ask, because you said Critical Hit. Is that the same people that stream like Pokemon tournaments?
No, it's not.
Okay, because there's a Critical Hit GG and Critical Hit TCG.
Yes,
and
I know who you're talking
about
about
lately.
Mm-hmm,
Been getting into them, because I've been playing Pokemon cards like a lot.
Dude, Pokemon is hype. I played a lot of VGC and shit like that for a long time, just because I thought it was fun. Yeah, and then so there's actually, I want to chill a little bit here for just a second.
Dude, chill it up, dude.
So Point Park University in Pittsburgh is actually hosting a giant tournament soon. We actually got their whole performing arts center. It's basically like a giant stadium. The Pittsburgh Penguins,
That is awesome.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Knights and Point Park University have all donated into the prize pot. It's going to be about $1,500.
That's sick, dude.
And
Let's go.
Yeah, they're running NHL. They're running, I believe it's Madden.
Mm-hmm.
And they're running Smash. And we're having that happen, and it's so sick. Like you said, these college scenes, and for that matter, I'm going to show one more time, Kent State University in Ohio is a huge college scene. I think that they're part of the reason that the Neo scene does so well. Because
that's awesome.
Yeah, one of my good friends, Perp, he is the main TO of that region. Well, not main TO of that region, but main TO of Kent. Mm-hmm. And he does an incredible job. I mean, they host a lot of regionals and stuff like that. They get well over 100 entrants and everything like that. And their tournaments are well ran. They are super fun. Everybody that goes there has a great time. They always have after parties at houses, bring everybody back, drink, have a good time, do whatever you got to do. It's
man, that's another bonus of college tourneys. Like, there's a very active social scene.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Like, you make all of these friends, and like they'll house people. Like, Perp offered to house me and like half of Pittsburgh. Like, they're like, he's like, if you guys come, we have places for you to stay. Like, and we're only 2 hours out, and he's offering this hospitality to us, even though we could just drive back. Like,
right.
Yeah, the people in these scenes like are so generous and so giving, and that's why I hate seeing all of these like smashers or dicks and like shit like that. It's like
nah. That's false. I can tell you that. Just overall, I'm sure some people like they get jaded by one bad experience.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And I mean, bad shit does happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say like everything's great, because it's not. I mean, there's always room for improvement. Some people are shitters. That's never gonna change.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's definitely not the majority. It's not even... I would stress to call it a minority. There's very few people that I've met that actually just suck.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there, and some of them really suck, but...
Yeah, I agree.
Don't let that, corrupt your opinion of Smash, of course. I feel like nobody's really gonna just always have a bad time. Yeah,
and that's... I want to stress that a lot, too, because I see a lot of outsiders who see a lot of the bad stuff about Smash, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I mean, that's just kind of like the niche community struggle, right? Like, it's not mainstream, so people are always going to have some kind of misinformed opinion that could be really negative.
I mean, at this point, you're still seeing it about YouTube. Like, people are putting out, like, these giant hit pieces on YouTubers, and it's like, Jesus. Like, holy shit. I can't...
don't end that life.
Yeah, I can't believe that. It's actually crazy. And that's so mainstream at this point. Like, YouTube is so big. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. Like,
Yeah, that's like a real
Google.
job, you know?
Yeah.
That's also another thing I think is cool about CSL, you know? It's like, hey, esports is legit enough that, like, not only at the pro level can you do some cool shit, but, like, even if you're a college student, you know? Or, like, it's infiltrated the academic space officially, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's a lot of money to be made out there in the digital world nowadays. Get yourself streaming, get yourself, you know, making videos, playing in tournaments, you can find that. And I just think that's awesome. I love how esports has kind of exploded in these recent years.
Yeah, dude, it's really just like, I didn't think when I was growing up that I could ever make something happen with my life through gaming, you know what I'm saying? I just really was passionate about it, and then you kind of just see this happen in real life, and you're like, wow, all right, like, I'm here for the ride, you know? It happened in concurrent with my lifetime that this became some kind of legitimate craft that you can actually pursue and, like, make something happen financially, like, career-wise, all that stuff, you know?
It's funny because Vicky had actually said the exact same thing to me when I talked to her about it, because I had brought it up with her too, like, when I was talking to her about everything that had got her to where she was now. She was like, I never thought that I would make money or have a career or do things through video games.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it, like, for me, it was just that I got in early, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's right now the applicants outweigh the job opportunities, I'd say, but soon enough, you know, as it continues to grow, it might even honestly be the opposite, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we may be searching for people, we can't find them.
yeah, it's possible, because look at the entertainment industry, right? That there's so many people in it, but also there's the availability of being formally trained and having, like, a college degree in it and stuff, right? So you can, to some degree, verify that these people know what they're doing, whereas esports, there's not, like, a university major for it at most schools. I will say there are now esports academic programs for a ton of schools, so you can actually come out, like, apply to Twitch with a degree in esports. Like, holy shit. But for now, that's not, like, the mainstream culture, right? At most schools, or, like, that's not even an option.
Well, and those are all still budding too. Like, where they are available, they're still learning the curriculum and, like, what you have to know and all this other stuff. So it's not concrete yet. They're just doing their best.
There's no guarantee that the person with the esports degree actually knows, like, shit from applesauce when it comes to esports, right?
Exactly. And, like, that's perfectly fine, you know? Like, as long as people are trying, and that's what I think is the coolest, is it's kind of a poke and hope. Like, learn as you go. And
absolutely is.
It's even very grassroots at the highest levels, which I think is really cool.
I mean, especially in Smash, man. Like, it's, you could barely call, like, anything we have above the grassroots level, even just like on a technical level, because it is the community putting every single thing together. You know what I'm saying? Like, bar, like, E3 invitationals and stuff. Like, it's still, Smash is run by the people who, like, are attending the tournaments for fun in their spare time.
We're kind of the definition of by us for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad
it's changing a little bit. Like, we're getting somewhere for sure.
Oh yeah, there's starting to be money thrown at us and viewership thrown at us, and it's starting to catch, and that's definitely, you have to give the props to the people who have done the work.
Yeah, even stuff like, of course, EVO's, like, an easy one, but, like, DreamHack, man, like, DreamHack is a really prestigious esports festival.
Yeah.
Across so many different titles, and like, you know, it's huge in Europe where it started. Then
they do a lot of CS. Like, that was their biggest thing for a while, right? Was their CS majors?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I feel so out of the loop when it comes to almost any other game's actual, like, history and stuff like that.
See, I'm super into, like, every game's history now. I've gotten to the point where I just watch it. I just research it, like, because it's so interesting to me how things just come into fruition, like how it all happens just out of happenstance, basically. Like, somebody's just like, fuck it, I want to play this game, and then they get 10 friends, and then it turns into a tens of thousands of people community. It's so sick. It's the coolest thing in the world.
I could, like, recite the Smash history books from cover to cover, but I only know just enough to get by, maybe, in a conversation with other games, which I think is, I'd say, a failing on my part. You know, I should definitely learn all about this stuff and like watch their streams for the commentary and stuff. One thing that's tough for me is like first person games give me like not quite vertigo. It's like called first person sickness. There's a little bit of
I get
shit
that
out
with
there on the
VR
internet about it. With VR,
yeah, VR makes me
VR doesn't
so
do that
sick.
for me, but I feel like it would make sense that it does for people.
VR makes me so fucking sick. I can play a VR game for like 30 minutes and then I might just be puking. Like, I don't know what it is, but anytime I pick up a VR game, dude, it's just like, all right, I'll play this for 30 minutes, then barf, and I'll be back. Like,
Oh man, yeah, I would never even touch it. I've got like minutes on VR logged in my life, so
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about it. And like,
see,
it's a
I went
fascinating-
out and bought an Oculus for like $500, and then I couldn't play it.
Dude, well, if you want to rehome it, I'd be down to try it out.
Oh, I already rehomed it. Yeah, she's long gone, but yeah, it was really unfortunate when it happened because I loved it. It was so fun. It's so cool. It's such a unique experience. It's something that you don't get to see often.
Yeah, it's like great that exists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's super cool, and it's just not something that I can do. Like, unfortunately, like sadly enough, I just can't get with it.
Yeah, like on the subject of stuff that we never thought would be like done in our lifetime. I think
Yeah,
VR is pretty
yeah.
up there as well.
Well, and then even shit like Pokemon Go, like, oh, let me just throw this Pokemon out in the middle of the fucking forest that you're walking through, and then you get to see it in the forest. Like, augmented reality is just as cool as virtual reality.
Yeah. Well, it's like the next.
Yeah.
Like one level before that, you know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
because if you saw the Pokemon coming out of your phone in real life and not on the screen, that would be fucking crazy.
Holy shit, bro. We're
Yeah,
talking
like
holograms.
projection shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, hologram Tupac comes out, like
Yeah.
raps a little bit, you catch the Pikachu, like just walking along to changes, great song. But yeah, man, I guess kind of to circle back, we're just trying to be involved in a lot of different facets of college esports and stuff, whether it's our circuit, supporting other events, just kind of legitimizing the craft, which is something I feel like I keep repeating, but that's really like a huge part of why I'm passionate about it, because since I was a kid, and I learned about stuff like competitive melee, I always thought, and I feel like a lot of people think, why isn't this like on TV? Why isn't this a mainstream, real huge sport? The amount of talent it takes to be good at this is still like it's comparable to actual athletic sports.
Yeah, I mean, these people
That's
grind
huge.
9 hours a day. Like, they are practicing their asses off to be good at what they do.
Some of them are kind of lazy, but
Well, some of
they
them are
still
just
can-
super
they still can
talented.
win.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and the other thing is, so are some athletes. Like, so are some
yeah,
professional level athletes. They were just talented. They just were born into it.
Yeah, and you can also have like a really good, like genetic makeup to be athletic, right? Like some
Yeah.
people, it's like the ectomorph, endomorph stuff, like how much you gain or lose weight or muscle, like
Yeah, and I mean,
There
all
are
of that
definitely
shit is
biological
just
factors.
like random. Well, not random, but it's bred into you.
it's RNG. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you're, a twinkle in somebody's eye, it's like RNG. Who's it's gonna be? But what's cool is that esports, I feel like, doesn't have like these definitive genetic traits that are like really good. Like if your parents are both Olympic level athletes, you're probably like gonna be coming out with like a predisposition for athletics, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just the way you were raised, but especially like physically.
Yeah.
Whereas in Smash, we don't know, or esports in general, we don't know what that is. Like reaction time's an obvious one, but most people don't know what their reaction time is. Like only
No.
gamers would find that out or run tests on themselves.
That's not true. That is not true. I can say that hockey goalies, soccer
Okay.
goalies,
Okay,
and
okay,
baseball players all do that as well.
Well, that's such a small percentage of the population, though. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Whereas,
You're right, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying there are people that do it. But you're right. So I would say that like the most defining things would be like finger dexterity, like hand-eye
That's another one, yeah.
coordination, and
Yeah,
and reaction time.
Yeah, and I also think those are all metrics that like nobody knows their own stats on, right? Or,
No,
like,
and you can't
yeah.
tell when somebody's that much better than you at it either. It's just
Mhm.
a thing
Yeah, 'cause
that you either have or you don't.
it could be like a super tiny 8-year-old kid, or like, you just look at the PGR top 50, right, and you will see almost no like phenotypic similarity between these people. At
Exactly.
all. Like there's nothing that
It
all
looks
of
like a
them
gaggle of
look
different
alike.
dudes.
Yeah, exactly. It just looks like if you selected 50 people off the street, like straight up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, I agree 100%. There is
Yeah.
absolutely no, like, oh, they all have this specific trait.
They're all
'cause-
tall. Like
Yeah,
no.
no.
No, it's not a thing.
We've got people like fucking Mistake, who's like 6'4", and then we've got people like Ally, who's like 5'8" or 5'9". It's like
yeah. There's no like obvious determinants of who's gonna be good, and I think that also really makes the community cool, because it's super diverse, man. Like I think that's actually one of the sickest things about Smash is like people are exposed to like cultures and other people and like ways of thinking, etc., that they never would have been otherwise, right? Like say you're in the Midwest, right, in a super like isolated area, and then you're meeting people from the city, like, and they're not all white all of a sudden, and like they're not, just the people around you that do the same things as you or go to like, the same places in town type of stuff. You get a really like thorough opening of your worldview in Smash, I think, and that was one of the sickest things. Like in my personal experience, I just feel like I got so much more cultured. You also travel to different places to go to tourneys, whether it's other countries or cities.
People. Yeah, you get to go to different. Yeah, I agree. It's so sick. I love how you and I share this opinion on this. Like, it's just like the coolest shit. Like,
yeah, it really is.
Getting to do what you want to do for not only fun but also like advancement personally is the sickest shit. Like, and it doesn't matter what you're passionate about, whether it's video games or shit like programming computers or working on houses. Like, dude, anything that you love and want to do, and if you can get to make that your livelihood, that's the coolest shit in the world.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And like there's generally a way for everything, right? Like, we were told our whole lives that esports gaming, before esports even had been breathed by a single human being,
it was
like,
fucking a useless hobby.
That was a waste of time. Yeah. So I think, that kind of also just like shook me up on like a personal level. I was like, oh, well, what else are they saying is bad that isn't bad? You know what I'm saying? And like, you start to like, it helps you with critical thought. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you're like, okay, like maybe things are more than what they seem. Gaming is a fucking job now. Holy shit.
Yeah, weed is legal. It's like all this shit's going like
in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's just all this shit is going sideways recently, and now you were right. It's like a culture shock. It's just like, okay, so what else have they lied to me about?
Right, yeah, like, dude, to go on like a next level, like a fucking American history, like you grow up thinking like these guys are the heroes the whole time, and it's like, well, shit, it's not really like that. Like, it kind of is, but not really,
Yeah, they are heroes, but also they did some bad things too. Like,
quite a few.
Yeah, that's the duality of man, as they say.
Yeah, it is.
So I want to get into something else, just something from your past. Like I said to you personally, I do this podcast basically because Twitter doesn't give people enough of a personal show, and I don't think people's streams even give them enough of a personal show because you have to put on a front. You have to be a personality.
For sure.
I feel like this is a good median for that. Like, you could just come on, talk with somebody you don't know, fuck around for an hour and a half, and
dude, watch Joe Rogan. That's exactly what he does.
That's exactly this is why I started a podcast. It's because I was a huge person. Like, I watched a ton of them, and I was just like, shit, I think I could do that. And like, I love people. I work 2 retail jobs. Like, I've always loved people.
Yeah, you have to. It's a job requirement for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But so I want to get into your past a little bit. What made you get into Smash? Like, just in general, what brought you to this?
Word. So, I mean, everyone just found out about it through their friends or even a TV commercial as a kid. For me, I went to a friend's house. He was playing Smash. I was 6 years old. This is when Smash 64 was new. And I liked it, but I didn't own the game. I think I ended up getting it a little bit down the road, but I was definitely into it. And then when Melee came out, I was at another friend's house who had it, and I didn't even know that the GameCube existed. And he's playing Melee, and I'm like, dude, this is the sickest looking game I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's the Smash I was just playing, except they're not polygons anymore, and it's got all this shit in it. Like, you've got adventure mode, you've got all these stages.
Well, now you've got like Mewtwo and Game and Watch and Icy.
And this is before he even unlocked them, dude. Yeah. I think we just had like Falco and Marth, and that already was enough to tip me over the edge.
Yeah, that's like, so dope.
Yeah, so I played Melee, and I was like, yo, this is probably like the greatest game that you could ever think of. And my friends and I, we were like, 8 years old when it was out. Just played it a lot, casually, and I had a friend who was in our Melee circle who had an older brother, and this dude was like hardcore gamer. He was like 4 years older than us, but he was like one of the elite hacksaws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knew his way around.
Dude's a monster.
The internet, and like this is Yeah. This is not even necessarily that he was like super sick at the games. I remember him being such, but I mean, on the real, he was like a 7th grader. So, like, how good was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So Melee's out. We're in like 3rd grade, 4th grade, and my friend's brother is like, watching us in Melee and like showing us all this cool shit in every other game. And I'm like, hey, so like, where do you go to learn about shit like this? And he was like, you go to Game FAQs. I'm like,
Game Facts, yes.
Game Facts, dude. So
I still hop on Game Facts occasionally for some guides.
That was like the birthplace of my internet career. So
dude, let's
keep
go.
in mind, you have to be 13 to join Game Facts. I hope they don't like go ban my account because I'm admitting to this.
You
but
have to be 13.
I was 9,
Yeah.
and I made a Game Facts account. Just fuck it, I'm fucking 13, like whatever.
Like everybody does on porn
And-
sites. Yeah, I'm 18.
Yeah.
dog.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been 18 for 20 years, man. But
Same. Big same.
Anyway, yeah. So I made the Game Facts account, and at the time, one of the other games I played a lot was Sonic Adventure 2 on GameCube, and I loved raising the Chow. That was my shit, and like also trying to get some ranks on the level. So I spent mad time on the Sonic board, just learning about Chow raising. They had like a pretty tight knit, like hilarious meme community, and I tried to like become friends with them. It was pretty cool. Yeah, that was like probably my first online community. But then I was like, you know what? The other like big forum on Game Facts for GameCube is Melee, so I'm gonna go here and like try to learn some shit. Like at first I just read the walkthroughs, but then after I got cool on the Sonic forums, I was like, yo, let me go on over to the Melee board and see what's there.
Yeah.
And that's where I really learned what the fuck was good, because like the walkthroughs didn't have shit on this level, but there's a pinned thread that was like a glossary of advanced terms. So I'm reading it and I'm like, wave dashing, L canceling, edge canceling, pivoting, all this shit, like that even still, like even 2-3 years into Melee's existence, people had already discovered all this shit.
Yeah.
And then there's other things, like other popular threads like world power ranking, and I'm reading it and I see names like Chillin, Azen, Chudat, Captain Jack, like dudes like this super early on into the game. I'm talking literally like 2003, 2004.
Oh, you're talking about like Isaiah, Ken, like all those guys.
Yeah, dude. Those guys as well. And if you watch like the Smash documentary, this is around the time where nobody really knew who was that good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I would
well, because
check
the
it, like,
coasts were still split and there was no big tournaments to bring everybody around. Yep, I loved the documentary. I've watched it like 3 times now.
Yeah, there's like a lot of that I like lived through in its actual like formative stages, but very loosely. I like read a bunch of stuff and I was like, holy shit, like how do I L cancel? I start trying it. I had like a decent amount of like guidance on how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So at the time YouTube didn't exist, so I never got to like visually see if I was doing the right thing or like see high level play. There's a file share system called DC++ that people used for tournament footage, and it was super like bare bones. I couldn't run it on my computer; it wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
So after that, like I kind of like learned what to do in Smash. I got better. I started like beating my friends, and it just kind of phased out of like the activities that we did playing Melee and stuff.
Yeah.
We played Maple Story pretty hardcore for a couple of years, and then Brawl was about to come out.
Maple Story was hype.
Great game. Great game.
Did you know they just came out with Maple Story 2?
Yeah, I'm not touching that. It looks so bad.
I didn't.
I've heard it's a good game, but I can't get behind the art. But anyway, yeah. So like after a couple years of wasting ourselves on Maple Story, we went back to Melee because Brawl was about to come out, and this is now like 2006, 2007. So YouTube exists, and Smashboards, which I also had like lightly found a couple years back when I first discovered it, but now it's like really big. So I just went on Smashboards and I checked the tournament listing, like, oh, is there an event near us? And sure enough, there was. So I went to this tournament with my friends, like end of 2007, a couple months before Brawl comes out. My friend ends up having a seizure in the middle of his first tournament match, which like nobody knew was going to happen or was even on the table. He didn't know he was epileptic or anything.
Oh,
but I guess
God.
like the nerves and like us staying up late and like being probably malnourished,
Yeah, dehydrated.
bagels and Pepsi and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just shitty 14-year-old kid things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he has a seizure at the tournament, but like in the hour that we got to actually spend there, I met a dude. His name is Rhyme. Amazing dude. He unfortunately doesn't play much Smash anymore, but he was older than us and he had a car and he lived kind of close, but not too close. Close enough that he would be down to like come over and play and like give me a ride to tournaments a couple times.
Yeah.
So then we dip from the tourney, go to the hospital. But I hit him up on AIM, this Rhyme dude, and he ended up becoming a really good friend. Like, came to my house, basically trained me in Melee. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was first tournament level, and a couple YouTube videos and knowing what I'm doing.
I beat all my friends, so I'm
exactly. But then, you know, playing with him, I was like, yo, there's like a way deeper level to this game that I'm like itching to tap into.
Yeah.
I can't do it yet, but I want to get there. So I played Melee with him until Brawl came out, and then we grinded Brawl super hard. And a couple months into Brawl, we just decided, all right, like we're ready. Let's go to some tourneys. We weren't ready, or at least I wasn't ready. He had, you know, some years of Melee backing him up, so he was able to hang with a lot of tournament players and got some good wins. But slowly, you know, I start to like get better at the game and like figure things out. Start making Meta Knight. That also really helped a lot. And yeah, just from there, like it kind of stuck. Once we went to that first tourney in early Brawl, like it was August 2008. After that, I almost like didn't miss a week of tournaments for probably 2 years. And I played like really, really hardcore all throughout high school. And then, you know, eventually went to college. Like when Brawl was dying, I could have kind of like took a step back a little bit from Smash. I played Marvel a lot. But I still was like involved in the Smash community, just not going like to tournaments as frequently. And then once Smash 4 came out, it's been like I've not been moved from the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still, I'm just fiending Smash.
Dude, Ultimate is so sick too. So now that we've heard what got you into Smash, what got you into commentary? What was your first experience on the mic?
I think my first experience was actually the first experience that anyone could have had to commentate Smash, which is really funny. I was at a tournament also at the same venue that my first Brawl tourney was at in Connecticut. This was like January 2009. And the big story about this tournament, it was called Cataclysm 5, I'm pretty sure, was that Ally was going to come to the U.S. for the first time. Okay. And everybody knew that Ally was like the best player on the All Is Brawl ladder, and he played Snake, he played Captain Falcon, you know, so like one of the best and one of the worst characters in the game. Everyone's like, who is this guy? Like, is it a top player pretending he's from Canada? But no, like, turns out Ally's a real dude. His brother's also a top player, and they're coming down to Connecticut from Montreal for this event.
Didn't even know Ally had a brother.
Yeah, Holy Nightmare.
Okay.
He's a really, really good player.
Okay.
He just doesn't compete much anymore.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I didn't have any idea like this tournament was going to have a stream or anything. Streams weren't like a thing at all back in the day. But the other cool thing about this was that Mewtwo King was coming to the tournament because he was the best, undisputed at the time, and we got to see what would happen if Ally and Mewtwo King played, because pretty much Mewtwo King had already taken down all the best players in the U.S. We know for a fact that nobody is beating him from here. So finally we get to see him against a dude from Canada, which, like, even though we didn't really think Canada was a good region or anything, we could at least see him against someone that we don't know that he's better than yet.
Yeah.
And
it's honestly, like when Armada came and played Mango, basically, in Melee.
Yeah, exactly. And M2K kind of washed Ally the first time, but you could still see what was going on. Like, he got second, you know, we're like, okay, he's better than all of us, but he's not better than Mewtwo King. Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that this tournament got, like, blizzarded on. So a lot of people didn't get to come. There were, like, you know, hundreds of people set to come, but it was such a bad blizzard. Like, we got snowed into the venue. I literally slept on the venue floor.
Damn.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know, a 15-year-old kid telling my mom, like, yeah, I'm going, you know, 2 states away to Connecticut for the weekend. Like, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just give me like $30. I'll get by. So I'm eating, like, you know, fucking cookies and granola bars from the venue, sitting on the floor, that's sleeping, like, you know, I don't even think I had a sleeping bag or anything. It was mad funny.
Just figuring it out.
Yeah. So at that tournament, they had a stream, which was the first that I had ever seen a stream ever, like, in any capacity, but also, like, I think the first Brawl tournament at the very least. Maybe some Melee tourneys had streams. And there was a desktop mic, like a real shitty, like, Logitech fucking little long rod that comes out of the stand type of microphone.
Yeah.
And the TO, his name was Solid Jake, who's the fucking man, by the way. Solid Jake was like, yeah, like, if anyone wants to commentate, feel free. And I'm like, you know, 5 months into my Smash career, but I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I could do this. So I just sit down and, like, I solo casted a couple games. Like, I don't know if I got to do M2K versus Ally, but I think I got one of their sets or games. And I just, like, did my thing, like, alone. And I was very shy about it at first. People were like, why does this dude sound like he's 40 years old? Or, like, who's the 40-year-old commentating? And it's just me, you know, like, kind of talking quietly and trying to do golf commentary like this a little bit because I just didn't want to like come out of my shell and get roasted.
Yeah.
And this is on Ustream, by the way. Twitch did not exist.
Yeah.
Twitch was still, I want to say, 2 years away from existing or more. Justin TV was what it was at the time, and even then that wasn't like popping. It was brand new
in its infancy.
Yeah, exactly. So the tournament was streamed on Ustream. I don't know how many people watch, but like there's a decent amount of interest in who would win between M2K and Ally. So I guess they wanted to like add this this new level of production to the tourney and have a stream so people could watch at home instead of just catching the results thread. I had fun. Like the 40-year-old thing made me like a little self-conscious, but I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, maybe I'll just run this back. So a couple tournaments like in the coming months and years started to have commentary, and I was like, yo, like, all right, I could be down with this. I think the real tournament that like made it like official was Apex 2010.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, yeah, like let's do this for real, and people are like starting to get into it and take it seriously. So from there, I kind of just like kept doing it, and yeah, that's pretty much the story.
That's awesome. So what was your first big break in commentary then? Your first big major tournament? Was it Apex 2010?
Come to think of it, I don't know if I actually even got on the mic for, if I was, it was very brief at Apex 2010 because I did a lot of staff work, like a shit ton of it.
Yeah.
I'd say Pound 5 probably sticks out as one of the ones that really made me feel like I was like doing a cool big tournament.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it was streamed. I think it was just recorded. So it's really tough to say, but I'd say toward the end of Brawl is really when like I solidified myself as like being one of the like the dudes, you know what I'm saying? So definitely Apex 2012. Like I did the top 4 for that. Apex 2013 I was part of, but not for the finals. And yeah, I'd say probably Apex 2012. If I had to put a real date on like when I felt like, yo, this is some real shit, and like I'm doing this,
Yeah.
I want to do this. Yeah, that was probably like the real affirmation. But the first time I had ever done it was 3 years before, and it was just kind of like a slow rollout of streams becoming more and more commonplace at events.
Yeah. So we've gone why you started, what your biggest was. Now, what were your favorites? What were some of your favorite commentary moments, favorite commentary tournaments, like things that really stick in your brain?
Okay. Let me see. I have like a really fond memory of CEO 2017.
Okay.
I did the top 8 with Rod, and Rod's just like one of my.
Is that the one that Anti won?
No, that was the year before.
Okay.
I wish I got to do that. That would have been insane.
That would have been stupid hype because that was
the coolest like pop off / entrance / anything. Anything Anti does is just so full of personality.
Yeah, he's definitely a player that you like to see win, just because he'll bring a show no matter what.
He'll bring the hype.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. That was like MK Leo and Salem played in finals. Leo went like Corin and got some crazy stuff off with her, and I don't know,
that's when the Corin started. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I just felt like that was a really fun tournament. I wouldn't even say like necessarily it was my best work or anything. I quite frankly don't know if it was or not, but it just felt really fun being there. It was a great event. Then every time shit like Evo, Genesis, that's always going to feel special.
Yeah.
I got to do one pre-release Ultimate event with Nintendo at EGLX in Canada, so that was fucking sick. That was like the coolest opportunity I'd say I've got.
Yeah.
I got to go to Brazil for the Rio E-Games in 2016. That was also insane. It was like happening next to the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty nuts, man.
So sick.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. We walked on Copacabana Beach, like across the track that like the runners would be using for the actual real Olympics. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Just like on some off time. Yeah, it was nuts. I would love to see an event like that pop up again.
Yeah,
I think again
really
tying it
cool.
into athletics is a really cool angle for Smash to work.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Well, it is. I mean, people who play the game are athletes in their own right. It's not the
they're
same.
competitors, you know?
Yeah, it's not the same kind of athlete, but they are athletes.
Because I think calling it athletes is almost disingenuous, right? Because that's like loaded with like athletics behind it, right? But you can call anybody a competitor or a sportsman almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sport doesn't necessarily mean it's athletic sport.
Yeah.
So, obviously we're not doing like physical labor. Sure, you're moving stuff on your controller, which requires physical training and all that. But
Yeah.
you know, it's very, very much not the same in that regard. But I don't think anyone's out here trying to say that it is, which always pisses me off. And like people get upset about, you know, ESPN. It's like, bro, they run World Series of Poker. They're going to run esports. Like, it's a sporting network, not an athletics network necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like people who are interested in competition at the highest level of one craft are probably going to be interested in other ones too.
Yeah.
So, you know, once the stigma kind of fades that, like, esports is this weird foreign territory for, like, weird nerds and shit, like, you know, which it's not. Clearly, we see the people who are at the peaks of these games, and they're, like, so many of them are just cool-ass people, you know?
Yeah. And, I mean, you've seen professional wrestlers at Street Fighter tournaments.
That, too, man. They're fucking nerds, too. Like, people just like video games. You don't have to be a nerd to be good at a game, even, you know? Let alone like it, but...
It's... Yeah, I found that really cool. Yeah, Kenny Omega does support Street Fighter V.
He does, man.
Australia.
He does.
Yeah, and there was also that other one. What was his name? Woodley?
Xavier Woods, right?
Xavier Woods, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that's just so sick, because those are, like, you know, legit superstars to some people, and it's like, hey, they like the same things I do.
Yeah.
Then there's that the football player, Chris Warcraft. He tweets a lot of stuff about games.
Yep.
Some high-profile, I want to say basketball player was recently tweeting about Smash 2. Like,
Le'Veon Bell tweeted not too long before everything with him happened in Pittsburgh that he was looking for games on Smash 4.
That is mad funny.
And actually, one of my friends played him. He said he was pretty fucking good.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would love to see somebody who's a professional athlete, you know, like in the NFL, in the NBA, just come out to a Smash tournament and like get PR'd. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even after their contract expires. If say like they got injured, right, and they can't play sports anymore, dude. Come to esports. That would be sick. That's also again a really great thing about esports as a thing in general. You know, you don't. I mean, you've got extreme cases like Hacks.
Who obliterated his hands.
Yeah, he did, man. But, dude, and then you get into another sick angle. It's like, dude, you don't even have to just, like, play or compete or run... play or commentate or run tourneys. You could make hardware. Like, Hacks made a fucking controller.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, a 150-page document about it, man. Like, the guy's doing real hard science and shit.
Yeah, and it works for him. It doesn't hurt his hands. It's exactly what it was meant to be.
Yeah, and I think it's just so cool that, like, the angles you could work in Smash are, like, literally infinite, you know? Like, there's something that someone hasn't done or, like, that only a few people are doing that you can just, like, controller mods, you know? Art, making Smash-related music and other creative work. Like, dude, there's a market for it. People are, like, doing well doing this stuff. Cosplayers, Yeah, I mean, there's so much shit. You don't just have to be the best in the world.
I mean, we've got content creators. Shouts out to my boy Sil. Like... I mean, there are tons of people out there who are doing their thing, and they don't even have to, like you said, you don't have to be a player. You don't have to be a commentator. You don't have to do the standard bread and butter shit. And you can still get on. So, you got your soul stolen by Nairo quite a few times. What led up to that? Was that back in the Brawl day where you met him?
Yeah, dude. I've known Nairo since he was, like 4 feet tall, man.
A young man.
Yeah, his brother was a top player in New Jersey for the early years of Brawl. His name is K Sizzle. I think he was the first non-M2K American to beat Ally. I could be wrong on that, but he was one of the first ones.
Okay.
Maybe he wasn't the first, but he like was good against Ally.
He was early.
Yeah, and he was one of the first. Yeah, for sure. Ally like dreaded fighting him. He really cracked the Snake matchup open pretty hard.
Who did he play?
And Meta Knight. And you know what's funny is that Nairo had the longest losing streak to Ally. I think he like didn't beat him until maybe Apex 2015 ever in Brawl.
Yeah.
Or he might have even lost that, and he like randomly beat him at like SmashCon or some shit after like well into Smash 4. But it's funny. His brother was like the Ally counter. But so I met Nairo through him. Like I used to hang out with Kelvin a lot. They live in the same town that my grandparents live in and that my mom was raised in, and like you know, I've spent like periods of my life living there and going there a lot. So.
Yeah, because they were from New Jersey as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, they live in the same town as like my really only extended family.
Yeah.
So I've you know, they've met my family and shit, like, you know, like because it's right there. After Thanksgiving dinner, I'll go play Smash with them.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, so I've known him for like ever and ever. It's crazy seeing him evolve to like what he is now. Like the first time I ever played him, I remember he was like super small, just like, you know, quiet kid, and he played like Sonic, Diddy Kong, and he was pretty good. I was like, damn, like I'm at this point like a tournament player, you know, I'm probably gonna be like ranked in my state this season, and this kid is giving me like a decent challenge.
Yeah.
And again, he's like 9 or 10 maybe. And then you see like he just finally shows up to a tournament one day, and he like double eliminated ADHD, and we're like, all right, this kid's the real fucking deal. Like ADHD was undisputed top 5 in the world at that point, pretty much top 10 worst.
He was the best Diddy Kong in the world, right?
Oh yeah, by a long shot, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like to see Nairo double eliminate him, we were all like, what the fuck is this kid? And then, you know, he started going to shit more regularly. He'd be a little inconsistent at first, but by the end of Brawl, like you saw, you know, he won Apex 2014. That pretty much put the crown on his head. Like him and QB were really like the definitive top 2 in Brawl, which is so crazy.
Yeah. QB is the Icy's Japanese player, correct?
Yeah, and he played Ryu and then Bayonetta in Smash 4.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. So, how is it hanging out there and just getting washed by Nairo?
Dude, alright, well, I will say this. I definitely get my licks in, too.
You definitely do.
I'll always take the first game off Nairo, almost without exception. If you go into the archives, man, you'll see first game, every time, this is how it goes. I'll win. I just be like, alright, you see my hand, like, reach over into his camera?
Yeah.
And, like, start rolling up my controller. You know, just like go for the handshake. Like, good
yeah,
games,
you gotta leave when you're batting 1,000.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Even if it's, you know, 1 for 1, I'll fucking take it. So every time I'll get the first game off Nairo, and then either like the first set will be super close, and he just like fucking cheeses me out. I'm like, oh, want to get him banned on Twitch with some violence right now.
Yeah. Start throwing hands. That's the ideal situation.
Like, you could tell, as he gets used to playing against somebody, like, he'll just pick them apart.
He adapts and then murders you.
It gets worse and worse as the night goes on. And then, the last set, almost always, like, Game 5 or Game 7, and he just fucking cheeses me out. I never, ever win the last set against him. Yeah. But, that said, what's it like getting bodied by him? It feels good to some degree, because you're like, all right, these are, like, huge openings in my play that he's capitalizing on. If you have, like, a habit, you know, if you do something 2 or 3 times, you're going to lose a stock for it. Like, he'll remember and be like, oh, yeah, last time I put you in this situation, you did this, and, like, bam, I'm going to kill you for it this time. Because his punish game is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, his punish game has always been good. That's been one of his, like, best things.
Yeah, that's like
he can just open you up and murder you.
It's such a deadly combination of, like, being able to notice habits really well and, like, scout the fear, and then also really making you feel it when you get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Nairo is unforgiving when he hits you. So, yeah, and then couple that with the fact that he could just, like, overwhelm you with his aggression and stuff. Like, he's really fast, like, in-your-face kind of player. So it all pieces together really well. And, dude, I also, like, legit never thought I would see the day that, like, Nairo buys himself and his mom a house with fucking esports money, dude. Like,
yeah, that's really crazy.
yeah.
That is super insane. But he does so well. I mean, he's an awesome personality. He seems like a super great dude. Like,
yeah, he's just like a really chill dude to hang out with. Like,
and that sub count's making him some fucking bread, dog.
Yeah, dude, it is. And good for him, man. Because
I mean, he deserves
you're that good at something, you deserve, like, you know, honestly, I feel like he's underpaid for, like, his level of talent and influence and, like, the space that he's in. But, of course, like, as Smash grows, so will his paycheck and, like, everybody around him. So, yeah, dude, we just got to keep growing Smash, keep growing esports.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, he's definitely going to help us do that. I mean, any good personality between him and Ty, shit. I mean, there's tons of them. There's a lot of really good personalities. EE, D1, TK... you, Vicky, like, everybody is bringing this community up. Everybody is lifting it, and it's awesome just seeing people succeed and do all kinds of crazy shit with what they're making. Like, Zero sending money home to his parents, Nairo just bought his mom a house. Like, it's so cool to see all these people actually just doing what they've dreamed of by doing what they love.
Yeah,
to go back to that again, basically. It
feels great, man.
Yeah.
It really feels great. And, like, you know, I'm definitely not, like, you know, at my peak, you know what I'm saying? I'm not where I want to be, like, necessarily. Not that I'm unhappy or dissatisfied with anything, like, I'm doing, but obviously, like, you know, I'm hungry for more. I want to, like, do more for the scene, like, you know, advance my own career opportunities further. But really, like, I feel almost like not obligated, but like that I'm happily paying a debt to the community for like basically raising me, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I joined Smash, like, you know, I started going every weekend when I was 15. Like I'm about to be 26. You know what I'm saying? Like there a lot of who I am as a person I owe to the Smash community. I feel like in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like I've again met people from all over the place, gotten different perspectives, different kinds of like. I'm more cultured as a human being. Like I found things that I like that I never would have seen otherwise, or like I've seen parts of the world that I wouldn't have gotten to. So
I probably would have never met a transgendered person if I didn't play Smash Brothers. To be honest.
You know what, dude? I actually low key might be the same, dude. On the real, I'm from like a super white.
I am from the fucking boonies, dude.
Yeah. Like I'm still like 40 miles outside of New York City. I wasn't like born there, but when I was about 6 years old, my parents moved there, or my mom moved there with me, and I always like just kind of knew from like not having spent the initial years of my life in a place like that. I was like, something's off, you know. It's like a weird place.
Yeah.
So like rural and like homogenous, you know. It's literally all white people, bro.
Yeah.
And then when I went to high school, I went a bit closer to the city, got like more multicultural interaction there, and then like Smash right after, like a quick 1-2 punch of like, yo, like this is what the world's really like outside of like the small shitty town. And I feel like super appreciative to get to do that now. Like, you know, I live in the Bronx now, bro. Like, and I'm chill with that because I spent a lot of time in the city. And I'm like, this is, you know, people say like think, oh, the Bronx is like the worst place you could live in the tri-state area, and it's like, nah, dude, you're literally, you just never been there, like.
Well, and it's just like any other place. It has its good and bad sides. Like,
yeah, for sure.
There's not a single place in the world that doesn't have some like rough areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, exactly. Like I live in a good ass neighborhood, and like, you know, I'm just like happy to be somewhere that's less monotone.
Yeah, I mean, if you go like 2 miles, not even a mile down my road, it gets into the bad part of town. But I live in a good neighborhood. It's like
right.
Yeah, that's just how it is
everywhere.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. All that kind of shit is super cool. Like, just getting to meet different kinds of people. And like you said, broaden your horizons. Like, bring everything together from, like, what you knew when you were growing up. And then it's a sign of maturing. Reaching these points
really
in
is.
your life. Yeah.
I feel like you get to grow up, like, a different way as a Smasher. But then again, you can see, like, the opposite, right? Like, you know, some people are almost, like, coddled by the Smash community. Either by, like, you know, top player privilege, right? Like some people could show up to an event, not have housing plans, but it's like, I know someone's gonna let me crash.
Yeah, or like show up 20 minutes late and still not get DQ'd.
Yeah. So it definitely goes too far sometimes, but like the Smash community really does have that kind of like family vibe to it, where everyone's just like, yo, man, I've literally never met you, but like, I'm gonna fucking like, you know, come up to you, be mad chill, dap you up, and like, let's get some fucking games, you know, let's chill, let's hang out.
Yeah, you can come up to the hotel room, I've got beer.
Exactly, man. Like, it's so easy to bond with people in the Smash community, and I think that just goes for most sub communities in general, subcultures. Like, you already know that you're there for like a similar set of reasons, and thus probably.
I mean, everybody there, everybody there has something in common. That's the easy, like, that's an icebreaker. You can talk to whoever. Like,
yeah, you could just start talking about fucking frame data, and you know, there's someone in the room who's gonna be like, oh yeah, like,
yeah,
I love that. You know, Lucina's forward smash hits on frame 13 on the ground. Like, all right, bet, dude, me too.
Yeah, sick. That is the beauty of the community and everything like that. Like this, like I said in the beginning, this community is good. In general, I've met so many great people. I mean, I have some in the chat right now. My buddy Nate, he is from MDVA.
Oh yeah, dude. Nature, I've definitely seen him at Xanadu before. What's up, dude? And Estrella, I know that man from the old Midwest.
Yeah, good old Neo, my man Nick. Like, and Super Atomic from Michigan. Like, I would have never met these people. And, like, I can gladly say that they're a lot of my really good friends now. Like, it's crazy. It's super crazy to think that.
Yeah, dude, I have so many more friends than I thought I would ever have in my life just because of Smash.
Well, and the beauty of it too is like now you have this group of people, like this support group. If anything goes bad, if you need something, if you're just fucking bored, like you got all these people.
Man. Like at this point, you know, I'm just so deep in the Smash hole that like anyone I'm gonna chill with is pretty.
You just said like, Smash hole. We can't.
Oh Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, you know. All right.
We can't just run past that. We gotta pause on that one real quick.
We're gonna bleep that in the VOD.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to. I'll have my editor work on that. Don't worry.
Word. Well, anyway, I'm just like too deep in at this point for like any of my friends that I hang out with in real life to like not be smashers at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like even my regular friends from outside of the community are either kind of plugged into Smash at this point. I've brought them to tournaments, or like they watch tournaments, or they're getting into it now, especially with Ultimate. So yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. Like, it's just something that you don't even necessarily have to be like a hardcore enthusiast about to participate into. Like, you know, not everyone who watches sports is like a diehard, but same with Smash, right? Like, some people play it casually, or some people are like, oh, I played this casually, so the fact that there's a competitive community for it interests me a lot, and I'm gonna watch this or something.
That's exactly how I got into the community. I was like, oh, dude, Smash is a dope fucking game. I'll watch a couple tournaments. And then one day on Facebook, I just saw something about a tournament in Pittsburgh, and I was like, oh, that's only like 45 minutes away. I'll go.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And then just randomly, I was like, ah, fuck it. I'll head out. So I did, and then I ended up meeting Perks. His name's Perky Nips. He's an amazing Mario player. He's actually our number one, like our best player.
Damn, that's a great tag, too.
Yeah, Perky Nips. He is... He's the fucking man. But, I walked in. I didn't know anybody there from Adam. Like, just...
Hot from yourself. Right?
Hot. If my name was Adam, that would work, yeah. Anyway. But, so I just walked in. I didn't know anybody. And there was 3 people that talked to me that day. One of them was Timco. One of them was Raw. And one of them was Perks. And I actually ended up going to Raw's house that night, playing with Perks and him, and, like, just working on shit, because I was a Little Mac main at the time.
Oh, pour one out for you, man.
Yeah, it was a...
Dump this pure leaf all over my keyboard.
Big rip on that one, but,
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Nah, honestly, I still love the character. I just wish that he didn't suck cheeks, but...
yeah, I wish he was good, man.
Yeah, anyway, so, but, like, it's crazy. They didn't know me. At all. I'd never met them before in my life, and Raw just walked up to me and he was like, yo, do you want to come over and play some Smash with me?
And of course you do, like,
yeah. That's what I said.
I came to this tournament.
I was like, yeah. I went hard 0-2, and then he was just like, I mean, you're more than welcome to come hang, and I was like, shit, okay, and I ended up just going over there. Dude, we ended up playing until, like, 1 in the morning, and I just dipped, and then I ended up getting messages on Facebook and shit, like, you should join the Discord, like, come more often, and it just, like, it was a super welcoming, like, experience. Probably the best I've felt walking into a place that I had no business walking into, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you don't know this dude, but it's like, again, you know, hey, we both play Smash, so this guy's probably pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
that's essentially...
I trust him being in my house, yeah.
That's what he must have thought about me, and, like, it was just awesome. I guess I do... Like I said, I'm pretty good with people, so I definitely guess I don't put out that vibe, like, I don't know if we should fuck with this guy.
Yeah,
but, like...
As long as you don't radiate that vibe, then most people are going to be chill with you.
And I've only probably met in, like, all the time I've been playing, like, the past 3 years, I've probably only met, like, 2 people like that, where I was just like, I don't know about that guy. Like,
well, man, we haven't met yet, so...
well, you know, just from this podcast, I don't know about you, but no, I'm playing.
Yeah. But yeah, man, what was I going to say? Oh, shit, I lost my train of thought, but... Yeah, I mean, basically, like, for anyone watching that has never been to a Smash tournament, like, this is just kind of the vibe you can expect. It's, like, people who just want to play Smash and, you know, just chill. And it's really a pretty fulfilling experience, especially if you stick with it. You make some lifelong friends and even just, like, people to hang out with when you're bored, like you said. And
also, there will be parties involved if there's Smashers involved. So.
That is also true. Yo, Smash community party's stupid hard. And like, I'm a very laid back, like, you know, like homebody type of dude.
Same.
Especially in, like, you know, the last couple of years, I'm just like, I'm too tired for all this shit. But if you're like a party goer and you're seeking, you know, some after hours fun, bro, it definitely exists. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, you can go to a tournament, have fun all day, and then they'll just be like, yo, let's go get fucked up at my house. It's like, shit, all right.
Yeah. But anyway, if you're over 21, though, you know, we ID.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to card these guys. Actually, at Showdown, there was a huge party, and they were IDing. They were like, we ain't a single motherfucker in here that ain't 21. And, like, I had just probably, like, 6 months before that turned 21. And this was my first major that I'd ever been to. And, like, my buddies were all like, yo, let's go to the party. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like what
Yeah,
party?
they have a tournament and a party here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty commonplace, especially at the majors. Like they'll have an actual after party, like
Yeah.
at a bar or a club. Or
No,
like,
dude, it was
for Gommel,
in.
it's on a boat. By the way, come to Gommel. The after party's on a boat.
Wait, for real?
It's really on a boat. Yeah, I think it's sold out though. Like it sold out like immediately.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, they had like 200 tickets and like they fucking disappeared, man.
Hey, that like we said, smashers are partiers, dog.
Yeah.
But this one was actually just in the hotel venue's pool, like in that pool room. They were just like, yeah, I mean, this is your guys' for the night. Fucking do whatever you want to do. They gave us 2 ancillary rooms with access to the pool, or 3, and they were just like, we had alcohol, a DJ, and then like a room to chill in, and then just this giant like hotel pool lobby thing. It was crazy. That was the first experience that I ever had at like a Smash party, and I was just like wild. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's always a really good time. Like no matter what you go for, Smash tournament is like just a weekend of fun and shit, in pretty much any regard.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, honestly, I think I'm good. I'm tired. I worked a lot, and it was great, man.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. This was super chill.
Yeah.
Dude, this feels like the Smash Joe Rogan experience, man.
That's
you got your like you're hooting, you're chilling, like
yeah.
You're just Smash Joe Rogan, man, and I love it. Except
that's
you got
what I
hair,
wanna be.
so like hold on to that.
Yeah, we got to do what we can. It's too long right now. I need a chop so bad.
Same, dude. I definitely need a haircut, but
Yeah, it's awful.
It's
I hate
kind
when
of
my hair
off-brand
gets
for
long.
me to get a haircut at this point, right?
Yeah, I was about to say I've never seen you with short hair. I don't think.
Oh no, it's not gonna be short. It's just gonna be like trimmed and
Oh, see, I'm butchering.
more
this
reasonable.
Shit. Like,
Damn!
yeah.
All right, man. Well, good for you, dude. Maybe you will look like Joe Rogan after.
No, it ain't gonna be like that. I fade it out. I can't have nothing, but I can't have this. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man.
But anyway, thanks a ton for coming on, man. It was great to have you. Super great guest. If there's anything that you want to shout out, anything that you want to plug, go ahead, do that right now. Like,
word. Definitely got to give big ups to Even Matchup Gaming and Collegiate Star League. They're the 2 orgs that I don't even want to say represent. I'm saying I'm like out here for this shit. Like this is what I'm doing. So we run the collegiate circuit that I spoke about earlier. We run Gommel. We ran Let's Make Moves, and now we have a monthly series in New York called The Movement.
Plus, EMG does that dope-ass play of the week.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Their YouTube is so godlike. Shout out to Joe, of course, owner of EMG. That's my boy. And, I'd say just, check out CSL if you're in college. Check out EMG if you're a Smasher, period. I'm going to be at the Scarlet Classic on Sunday. It's at Rutgers University. It's, in conjunction with CSL. And, going to just go out there. I'm going to try to get some nice wins and bracket. I definitely haven't been competing as much as I'd like to recently, just because I've been burnt out and busy and shit. But I'm gonna be on the sticks this weekend, so always looking forward to a chance to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Tri-State, by the way, sickest scene, free, New York City, New Jersey, really just those two. Phil, you guys are cool and everything, but you know where it really happens.
Hey man, that's in my home state. I don't think you could be talking that gas like that.
Yeah, bro, you're technically Tri-State.
Yeah. Well, no, really. I think we're Midwest. I think
you're
we're
functionally Midwest, but in terms of the nomenclature, you are PA, which is actually fake Tri-State. It's Smash Tri-State only.
We're also fake Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. You guys don't have a home. You're just Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You're the one box.
We suck.
Box.
Yeah.
Nah, PA's pretty cool.
I love
Philly
our
is
scene.
nice.
I love Pittsburgh. You need to come out, man. We'll try to figure something out to get you out here because Pittsburgh is dope. It's a super homie scene. We are also goons, so. All
right. Well, off camera, I'm pretty goonish myself.
Well, I mean, hey, then you will be more than welcome. We will welcome you with open arms.
Sick, dude.
But anyway, it was nice to see you. I hope everybody had a good time. This will be uploaded to YouTube at 2 p.m. tomorrow at The Ultimate Podcast. Next week we have... I don't think it's next week. The week after we have Fatality, and then... Yeah, that's all I know right now, actually. Finding guests is a bit of a struggle.
Keep it a surprise. Keep them waiting.
Yes. Finding guests is a bit of a struggle right now, because I'm still starting, so...
Word, dude.
Gotta get everything going.
Yeah, just keep grinding, bro. fourth and counting episode right here. Like,
I've been pounding the pavement, sending work emails, everything I can do. So we'll figure it out eventually.
Dude, you got it, man. Keep rolling, keep doing your thing. And to everyone watching, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, for sure.
Hit me up on Twitter with any comments or...
We actually have his Twitter right under his picture here, so go ahead and give that man a follow, and thank you all for stopping out. I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you next week.
All right, peace, guys.